Вот, а это уже Хиросима. Хиросима, вот она какая.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will soon make a brief stop at Hiroshima. Passengers going to the Sanya, Ue, Kabe, and Geibu lines, please change trains here at Hiroshima. Thank you.
Там что-то интересное такое. Высокие дома. Многострадальный город. Боже мой. Так, все, прибыли в Хиросиму. Так, ну вот мы на станции Хиросима.
And we are going to see this in the morning, correct, on Miyajima Island.
We have boat trip, yeah? We're taking a ferry there, yeah?
Oh yes, that's right.
Хиросима. Станция, как обычно. Такие же автоматы стоят. Отель. Тут отель хороший. Автобусы, смотри, здесь там сиденья вот такие в самолете должны быть сиденья. Нужно на них полностью лечь.
Both system connecting Beijing and Shanghai.
Мне кажется, это один из лучших поездов мира был.
The year 2008. But do you know what? We have a project to beat them again. When Japanese economy picks up again, we'll beat them and we will have the bullet, so-called linear motor car using superconductivity. The trains run above the rail. And magnets, the speed will be over 500 kilometers per hour. Now I'd like you to see right here side of the hill, and when your Shinkansen approach station, you may wonder what it is. That is an Indian style super. In 1960, 15 years after the atomic bombing, Prime Minister Nehru from India came to Hiroshima, and he was much impressed with the beautiful Hiroshima rebuilt after atomic bomb devastation. And Nehru gave us ashes or relics of Buddha, the founder of Buddhism, for the repose of the deceased victims.
Это Индия.
Buddhism in Hiroshima started the
построили
fundraising campaign,
после
and the Buddha was
атомной
completed
войны.
in 1965.
Там вроде как мощи Будды.
So let me introduce myself. My name is Akiko Furutani. Furutani, my family name is too long for you to remember, so please forget it. But I like you to remember my given name, shorter and easier, which is Akiko. A-K-I-K-O.
Akiko.
And do you know that Ko in my name is a common ending of a Japanese girl's name? About 60% of female names in my generation or older end with the sound Ko, which means girl or child. And Aki means autumn. Since I was born in November, my parents named me Autumn Girl. But I found out that today the majority of the participants are from Australia.
По своим
So if I had been born in your country, my name would be different. November in Australia is the spring, right? So my name would be Haruko. But in Japan, November is autumn, so autumn girl, Akiko. And I can tell you that my birthday was November the 3rd. But what year it was is a top secret of Japan. I don't want to tell you how old I am, but in my commentary or guidance, I'll give you some clues. So when you listen to me carefully, by the end of the tour, everybody knows Akiko's age, one of the top secrets of Japan. And by the way, how do you like this beautiful weather I arranged for you? I wanted to make the temperature a little lower, but it didn't work. And about the weather in this country, there's a proverb that goes, a good person never goes out without having a good weather. 行いのいい人はお天気に恵まれる in Japanese version. Teenagers who have been learning Japanese at home, and they know the answer. So I have given many, teenage students from overseas prize, but no answer to question 1. Okay, I'll tell you the answer. Hiro in Hiroshima means big or wide. Shima means island. So Hiroshima means big island. And as this name suggests, the city of Hiroshima developed on this island, more precisely on the deltas. So when you open up this city brochure I gave you, you can understand what I mean. The castle was completed by the feudal lord or daimyo Mori in the 16th century. It was reduced to ashes by the atomic bombing in 1945. And a faithful replica of the original one was rebuilt in 1958. This building is a history museum. There is a good spot, and I can tell you when. So the moat of the castle, and Himeji Castle is one of the 12 original castles that survived the air raid. I will introduce the story. Then we turn to the left. 左に曲がったところで、Ueda-san will make a brief stop. So if you'd like to take a picture of the castle, get your camera ready now. The top floor is the observation platform. And on the first and I'd like you to see this on your right hand side. You can see many high-rise buildings. They are apartment houses built for the displaced people who lost their houses by the atomic bombing. Right after the atomic bombing, the temporary wooden barracks were built for a temporary measure. But these wooden barracks didn't look neat. In 1960s, and Japanese economy had a very rapid growth. Hiroshima City started a project, Oleander Blossoms. They are very sturdy or durable plants, and I heard they are poisonous. Yes? Today, the population of Hiroshima today is 1.18 million. 1.18 million, and in terms of the size of the population, this is the 11th largest in Japan. So let me complete the story of the carp. So in Japan and in China, the carp has a special significance. And as you may know, much of Japanese culture is influenced by Chinese. And in China, there is a legend. One day, the king of the heavens told all the fish to swim up, all the fish, and told the fish to swim up waterfalls on the Yellow River. No fish except the carp could accomplish that. And the carp, after swimming up 3 waterfalls on the bridge down there, can you see a brick building with a skeletonized dome? That is the atomic bomb dome. And the ruins, the picture of dome is on the cover of the city brochure. And when we drive back to the city, we will get off the bus by the atomic bomb dome. That is the ruins of the former Hiroshima Trade Center. And today, that is the only one building that has been preserved as it was, as a witness of the horror of nuclear weapons. And also the symbol of Hiroshima citizens' aspiration for the nuclear weapon-free world. The world hadn't been affected by fire bombing or air raids if the city remained intact. And the other reason was weather. It happened to be good weather on August the 6th. The island Hirashima we are heading now. To the left along the coast, long grey structures. That's the Mitsubishi. Although I succeeded in arranging good weather for you, I couldn't arrange high tide for you today. So when we go there, the tide is low. So, but anyway, this Hirashima brochure has a caption saying Hirashima, one of Japan's 3 most scenic spots. And I wonder if anybody knows the other 2 places.
Горбатный остров рассказывает Маджусин. Какой-то еще остров недалеко от Хиросимы, называется Маджусин. Мы туда тоже поедем.
Oh, Matsushimaya, Matsushimaya. You just repeated the name of a place. Oh,
Маджусима.
That's beautiful. And the other place known as the Scenic Trail is in Kyoto. About 2 hours walk to the American lady whose hobby is embroidering or needlework. And she told me that she loves Japanese needles. The name of the brand is. You are welcome. And on the left ahead, now it's behind the foot. Another funny story. Why they started to bake the cake is the shape of maple leaf. Yeah, always. And then thanks to Miyajima, 140 years ago, he stopped at a tea house, equivalent of coffee shop today, like a Starbucks. And the daughter of the owner of this tea house served him a cup of complimentary green tea. And 20 years ago, we had a counterfeiting by another person, famous medical doctor. But now, you can see the bull rack. They are holding scallop shells, and on these scallop shells, oyster fat, oyster eggs cling. These scallop shells with oyster fat are brought to deeper water, hanging under the raft, oyster bed. And in 2 years' time, so in 10 minutes time, they are going to start the hardcore drum performance. We may have time. We are going to take the next ferry, leaving in 15 minutes time. Addition, so the mother or parent raven, after this ceremony, they go back to Kishu, another part of Japan, and the child, baby bird, goes back to the island. I think that this is a legend or the
郷土芸の婦人太鼓でございます。今日は2曲を演奏させていただきます。最初が婦人太鼓、2曲目が面楽囃子でございます。最初の婦人太鼓ですが、大野町の中央に大頭神社という神社があります。これを昔から伝わっておりますお得意詩、これをテーマにした組曲でございます。皆様の健康と幸せを願っての
Чего? А вон она, Хиросима. Все. Мы сейчас с острова плывем к Хиросиме. Теперь снимаем этой камеры, на то у меня батарейка села. Многострадальная Хиросима. Как они утверждают, радиация у них была всего-навсего месяц. После в сентябре 45-го года, в августе 45-го был ядерный взрыв здесь, а в сентябре 45-го здесь был тайфун, прошел, и вроде как все смыло, унесло. Не знаю, насколько это правда. А тот остров вроде как вообще не пострадал. Это мне вообще не верится. Мне кажется, радиация, как она так может несет. Вот этот остров, а вот Хиросима. Сейчас мы, наверное, пойдем смотреть эти памятники, которые остались от ядерных. Но тоже не так интересно. Тот остров был, конечно, совершенно необыкновенный. И ради этого стоит съездить в Японию, ради него. А я ведь не хотела брать, думала, ну что там смотреть в Хиросима? То же самое, что Чернобыль. Нет, вон тут какой остров нас свозили. Я даже там искупаться умудрилась, хотя не разрешали. Так, ладно. В Хиросиму прибываем. Хиросима. Я. Пойдем. Наш экскурсовод молодец, так много знает она. Она говорит, что она знает все про Японию. Так, все, остров остался позади. До свидания. Теперь Хиросима.
I think a 30-40 minutes drive before we get to this park. And this is a park now, but before the atomic bombing, it wasn't a park. It was one of the busiest shopping quarters of Hiroshima City, and over 5,000 people used to live there. And out of these 5,000, only a few survivors. And at the north end of this area, the delta, one of the deltas is the bridge. And this bridge is shaped like alphabet T. And the bridge located at the same spot was the target of the American bombardiers. Because the bridge is located in the city center, the shape was prominent, easy to find from up above, from B-29 bomber. Yes, this bridge. And then you open up this, the whole city. So the focus is on the train station, and this delta with the bridge. This is for city center, and at the north end of this delta is the bridge located shaped like a T. The same bridge here. So the bombardiers aimed at this bridge, and actually the bomb went off, not on this bridge, but about 300 meters or 900 feet southeast of the bridge, shown with this red circle, Shima Surgical Clinic. And as you may know, the bomb went off, not on the ground, but up in the air, 580 meters or 1,900 feet above this clinic here. And her family lived in Hiroshima until March this year. But since other major cities had already been air raided and the food was short supply, the family decided to move out into the country. On that day, August 6, 1945, they were about 100 kilometers or 60 miles west of Hiroshima, living with their relatives who were farmers. They survived. If they hadn't moved into the country, I might not be here today. My mom was 15 years old in 1945. But anyway, the monument for the senior high students is number 8. Then we will walk across the river to see a another monument shown with number 11. That is a three-pillared tower with a bronze statue on the top. And the statue on the top depicts a girl riding message, which was so powerful, inspiring. I can never forget what he said. What Paul said was that he was a business was to remember Hiroshima, to abhor nuclear war, to remember Hiroshima, is to commit oneself to peace. At the entrance to the museum, there is a monument to commemorate his visit to Hiroshima, and I'd like to read the passage. And in this park, every year, on August the 6th, peace memorial ceremony is held. I have attended this ceremony on August the 6th, 15 consecutive years with an American youth. I am involved with a project to have an American youth aged between 18 and 30, one youth a year, and I have hosted most of them at my place and attended this ceremony with this youth. Last year, I was with the university, graduate school students from University of Hawaii. And the number of the participants of this ceremony was over 50,000. They were not only Hiroshima citizens, but also peace delegations from different parts of the world. And at the time, 8:15 on August the 6th, every participant had
Мы сейчас едем по мосту. Так, Хиросима многострадальная. Как раз мы сейчас едем в парк, посвященный жертвам ядерной бомбардировки в 1945 году.
conferences, peace summits have been held. And the next one and the one on the right end are the two museum buildings. And we will start with the one on the right end. And this museum building, the first museum building, has 3 stories. The first floor has the exhibit showing us what Hiroshima was like before the bombing. And there are dioramas showing the area now the park is before and after. And overhead, these dioramas are 2 rows of videos. On one side, we can see the reconstruction of what Hiroshima citizens saw on that day. Clear blue sky is shown. On the other side, the video shows what the crew of Enola Gay B-29 bomber saw on that day. And there's a replica, the atomic bomb dome. And on the walls of this replica, we can read protest letters sent by the consecutive mayors of Hiroshima to the countries that conducted nuclear tests. Whenever a nuclear test was done, protest letters have been sent. And the number of the protest letters is 604. 604. And this is a number since 1968. If sending this had been started right after the Hiroshima bombing, the number of the letters or the protest nuclear tests is close to 2,000. And the second floor of this first building shows what Hiroshima was like after the bombing. And the third floor, the exhibit telling us about the threat of the nuclear weapons unless they are placed under the right control. There's a museum shop on the third floor. There you can buy the literature on Hiroshima, Nagasaki, and the packets of origami paper with bilingual instructions how to fold, frame. And today, the size of bus is not so large, so chauffeur Ueda-san is kind enough to drive by the ground zero, Shima Surgical Clinic. We like to take the picture of the tablet with a picture of the rubble. Please get your camera ready. In a few minutes, we will drive by the ground zero, Shima Surgical Clinic. And Dr. Shima, surgeon, passed away of old age, but his son, medical doctor, this Shima Surgical Clinic still operates. After we visit the hypocenter ground zero, we'll go to the dome. And now the upper part of the dome, the ruins of the former Hiroshima Trade Center is now a sight straight ahead. And after we get off, we see the dome, the memorial tower for the junior high school students, and the Sadako's monument, and the peace flame, and the peace memorial cenotaph, the main monument of the deceased victims. It's covered with the scaffolding. This is check whether the building can survive the earthquake. So the soundness test, similar to the physical checkup of human body, is underway here at the atomic bomb dome. So we will get off the bus here and Hiroshima Trade Center. Down that direction, gray bridge with stone railing. That is the target bridge. Then we look at the bridge from up above. The shape is like alphabet T, connecting 3 deltas. That's the target bridge. And the ground zero is some 300 meters, 900 feet southeast of the target bridge. So the dome is located between these 2 things. Today in Hiroshima this is the only one building that has been kept as it was.
When was it built?
This was built in 1915. 1915.
15 already? Oh. It's beautiful.
Only 1/3 of the original building remains. And later we can see the picture of the original trade center.
Which looks like what you saw in
Prague, yes, Ministry of Industry building.
В 1915 году он был построен, его бомбили.
My husband Toyota company was invited out in 1915 due to the trees in our favorite city.
Ну вот. Самое страшное место на земле. Такой закон. Камфорное масло из него делают. Я думала, что из экскурсии будет просто по одному Хиросиме, и ехать сюда не хотела. А нас на такой остров чудесно привезли.
He used to live here, but he graduated from Tokyo University and he saw the devastation of this area after the bombing and many orphans. And to make these children, can say, mentally stable, he started to publish children's storybooks. So to commemorate his accomplishment, this verse was done and the passage.
Детишки, здесь школа была, бомбили. Какой ужас.
This tablet has a history of this area. And you can see the target bridge to the left.
Они как раз наметились бомбить вот этот мост.
And the ground zero is behind the Just for my information, this is ceremony professional photographer with the picture of the dog. To the left is the target bridge. The ground zero is in this direction. He talks about his experience.
Вот этот вот мужчина, его мама была беременная, как случилась бомбардировка. И он как раз был вот этот вот, который сидит. Да. Он рассказывает, как он все это пережил. Да.
over 8,000 junior high students aged between 12 and 15 have been working. What kind of work did they do as shown on this relief? Boy students had to work as farmers because many men went to the battle. There wasn't enough labor to do farming. Boy students helped. The girl students sewed soldiers' uniforms. That's what my mom did until March 1945, wearing the headband to concentrate on their work. And the third relief had lantern floating ceremony held at night on August the 6th every year on this river. Paper lantern lit with a candle bearing the names of the deceased victims. Some have been threatened.
Да, у нас ничего не росло, только орианда был первое растение.
No vegetation grows on this land. And these colorful things are the cranes offered by the students who visited Hiroshima in their school trip. In kindergarten kids are taught how to do this. Then they get used to they can finish folding one crane in 5 minutes. So what you need to make 1,000 is paper and patience.
Падение мира. Видишь, только вот единственное растение, которое первое появилось тут. Вообще долго ничего не росло. И вот какая нас там быстро было делать.
So I'd like to people used to live here. Only a few survived. In the case of the whole family were killed, there was nobody to identify or register these people as victims. Even today, 68 years later, some 50,000 names are still unknown. The ashes
Вечный огонь, посвященный жертвам аварии, ядерной аварии. Я историю 20 века вообще не люблю. Приехала даже. Совсем не то, что неинтересно, даже как-то больно смотреть на все это. Все, что связано с радиацией, мне противно. Красивый город был, и уничтожили все. От зверя. Звери такого не делают. Надеюсь, не радиоактивный. В музее. Ой, кто такой фильм смотрели в жизни?
今なお続いています。核兵器廃絶と世界恒久平和の実現に尽くすのが広島平和。
This is a trade center. The rectangular shaped building shown with white line is the Hirashima surgical clinic. And as I told you earlier, the area now Peace Park used to be one of the busiest shopping quarters in Hiroshima. And over 5,000 people used to live. And over there, some wooden houses are missing. That was a demolition site of wooden houses to make fire-breaking lanes and engaged by junior high school students, and over 6,000 of them were killed. By the single boom, this changed to that. Please move over here.
Вот и что стало. О, Господи.
The
Вот что стало.
bridge only partially vanished. But look at the dome. And the Shima surgical building was all gone. The red pillar shows whereabouts the clinic was. And then you look up, this red ball gives you an idea of the altitude of the explosion. 580 meters or 1,900 feet above the clinic. The ashes of the wooden houses and some ferro concrete or brick buildings still stood. Today, all the other buildings were demolished or renovated. So the dome is the only one building that has been kept as it was. And the video on that side shows the reconstruction of what Hiroshima citizens saw on that day. Clear blue sky, favorable visibility. That was one of the reasons why Hiroshima was chosen as a target. And the other side shows what the crew of Enola Gay and so two other escorting planes. Altogether, 3 B-29 bombers flew to Hiroshima from Tinian Island in the Pacific Ocean to Hiroshima. And the one actually dropped the bomb was called Enola Gay and named after one of the bombardier's mother. And the nickname of the one dropped on Hiroshima was the little boy because he was very little. While the other one dropped on Nagasaki was called Fat Man. And I was a guide to the American physicist some 15 years ago, and this gentleman told me a dreadful figure. According to him, one hydrogen bomb today would be over 4,500 times worse than the Hiroshima bomb.
president mayor. And so this is a replica of the atomic bomb dome. To the country.
The survivors are still especially in one of the district close to the people center in the city. Devoted to the peace man. Какой ой. Вон эта девочка родилась больной. Мама была беременная, когда начался взрыв. Он сделал что-то такое ужасное. Проход из музея. Здесь в уголке земли, где эти реакторы стоят, что ли? Это чё? Здесь все перевернуто, какой-то ничего не поймешь. Да, здесь все перевернуто. Все наоборот, вон Америка. Да, вон Британия, кверху ногами. Там 4 реактора показывают. Германия тоже. Франция, много. Hirashima. Франция 3 реактора. В России сколько реакторов? Чайна. Пакистан. Индия. Так вот тут проход из одного музея в другой. Через коридор. мосту. Ой, не знаю. Вот на эту Хиросиму уничтоженную, сожженную. Конструкция, это что тоже интересно. Реконструкция. Что здесь осталось после разгрома? Ну да. Ой, господи, какой ужас. Те, кто выжили, рисовали вот это кошмарное облако. Вот наш автобус. Не знаю, я бы с удовольствием в автобус бы села. Нет, Хиросима мне совсем не понравилось, можно сказать. Боль какая-то, больно смотреть на это. Но зато задумаешься о смысле жизни. Нас, русских, называют англичане miserable, вечно недовольные, вечно всем угрюмые. И религия у нас тоже такая же. А вот интересно, есть ли вообще у нас право радоваться жизни, если вот такое происходит? Сколько смертей, сколько трагедий. Если кого-то это избегает, могут ли они радоваться, могут ли они исцелиться, не знаю. Размышления, конечно, могут свести с ума. Фонтан сделаю. Это прошло сколько же лет? Так, 45-го года прошло. 55 и 13. 55 и 13. Вот. 68 лет прошло, да. Жуткие трагедии. Почти. Почти 68 лет. Ладно. Да.
She was actually of her good memory, but what she said was, "Oh, kawaii, kawaii and kawaii sound very similar, but kawaii means awful, terrible, scary. So you have to say kawaii. There's an island in the state of Hawaii, Kauai Island, and also Japanese piano manufacturer is kawaii, and you have to put the accent at the end and say it with big smile, kawaii. Please repeat after me, dozo. Kawaii. Very good. Never say kawaii. Kawaii means awful, terrible, scary. But the fourth expression is let's see. I love you. I love you. I don't know whether you have an opportunity to use it. Anybody? No? I see my shoe. You can say, I see my shoe. I see my suit. I see my suit. Don't say, I see my socks or I see my toe. You have to say, I see my shoes. I love you. あと主語はね。
I see my shoe.
Is there any expression you want to learn?
I love you. I see my shoe.
I can tell this. If ever you are invited to a Japanese home and you are served a meal, before you start eating, you can say, do you know, it's very good, right? Itadakimasu, itadakimasu. And to memorize this, you can remember it like this. Eat that you must. Eat that you must. When you say it quickly, it sounds close enough. Itadakimasu. Eat that you must. Dozo. Eat that you must.
Eat that you must. Eat that you must.
And the other one is
I see my shoe. I love you. Eat that you must.
Goodbye. What is goodbye? Sayonara, sayonara, sayonara. Konnichiwa is a good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yes, good afternoon. So I think 6 phrases. This is the end of Akiko's. It's easy. どういたしまして。So you can memorize it. Don't touch my mustache. When you say it quickly. Close. どういたしまして。どういたしまして。Very good.
I see your shoe. I see my shoe.
Don't you have any questions or no?
Интересно, да. I love you. I see my shoe.
I know. I can tell you another personal story.
See my shoe.
Sometimes I'm asked. I told this to some of you, but my husband has business and he has many employees, so he has been leading very stressful life. A lot of complaints from suffering his employees or the customers. So to make him work hard. Founder's family name. Did you hear this? Says Mazda. I'm based in Hiroshima. Masu means pine tree. Da is rice paddy. Supposedly, Mr. Mazda's ancestor was a rice farmer in whose paddies were surrounded by pine trees, possibly. And another car company is Honda. Han means main or important. the rice paddy. And another one is Toyota. And does anybody know the correct pronunciation of the family name is not Toyota but Toyota. And I think 3-4 years ago Toyota had a recall issue, and Mr. Toyota had to go to the congressional meeting in the United States, and his name was called Akio Toyoda. Toyo means rich or fertile. Da, rice field, rice paddy. So these 3 car companies' names are from the founder's family name. All of them have da in it. So rice paddy. And do you remember our chauffeur's name? His name is Ueda. So Ue means upper. Da, rice paddy. So I think his ancestor is also a rice farmer. Okay? 言いました。So there are many Japanese family names with either ta or da. Tanaka or Nakata, Ueda, Shimoda. I can go on hours. But all these have something to do with the rice paddy. And I didn't have time to tell you, but Shintoism. I talked about the Shintoism at the Hirashima shrine, and Shintoism is the animistic worship of natural phenomena. There are, did you hear this said? Shintoism has 8 million gods and goddesses. Yao Yorozu no Kami, using Japanese expression, and the most important deity is the sun goddess. And Amaterasu Omikami enshrined at the Ise Grand Shrine. This Ise Grand Shrine will be rebuilt. Every 20 years rebuilt, and this year, 2013, is the year of the rebuilding. And Japan is a rice farming nation. Sun goddess is very important. Many Japanese family names, Ka, Wada, in it. And so this big building for 3 people. Have you been there? This is a department store across diagonal from New Hero Day. Sunday, so not much free samples, but when you go there over the weekend, Japanese rice bowl exhibit. I call it the Japanese version of sandwiches. Rice bowl with different kind of fillings like pickled plum, grilled salmon, or egg, grilled cod egg roll. All these different kind of fillings, and it tastes very good. So the shop where you could buy this is Musashi, the famous Japanese samurai. I can show you where they are. And so everybody is together. Let me tell you this. It was my great pleasure to be at
Наверное, сейчас я соблазнюсь все-таки на эти вот суши. 700, это 8 фунтов. Но может быть оно и стоит взять, попробовать. Пытаюсь с девочкой объясняться. How long stay without fridge? How many hours? У него он там переводчик. Вот такой вот подарок. Знаете, какая прелесть. Это суши, все в одном. Как они упаковывают, здесь так красиво. Сладкое язык. Виды. Это рыбка. Рыбки соленые можно, будет взять с собой, я думаю. Ну, это завтра. Не знаю, насколько она вкусная, может, очень несъедобная. У меня деньги-то остаются. Ты за всем платишь картами. У меня все экскурсии, поэтому мне деньги, которые я обменяла, все остались. Думаю, что я смогу себе что-то купить. А вот здесь вот это печенье проточено, вот этот мапл. Бискет. Это, конечно, очень интересная страна. Мапл. А вот эти вот печенья, которые нас угощали. Все уезжают. Hirashima. приеду. Остров, конечно, это был сказка. Хиросима очень, конечно, тяжелое впечатление остается. Тяжело очень. Все. Тоннель. Вот. Хотела я такой наборчик привезти домой. Это вот суши, не суши. Ну, вот типа того, тут даже икра вон есть. Хотела привезти домой, но узнала, он только 4 часа после открытия может быть. То есть он самолет, конечно, не выдержит, все испортится. Поэтому сейчас буду есть его сама.